heading west into the outback, but I may come across a few issues along the way. Let me explain. Why am I heading west? Well, earlier this year I rode around Australia with a couple of mates, and I took along my drone, which I normally use just for filming when I'm working. But I took a few images along the way and they turned out okay. So I thought, where could I get some aerial shots within about a day's full ride from where I am? So got out Google Maps and started looking around, and I really did like that orange-red ochre of the outback. So I pan left and I came across a couple of really interesting looking lakes. So the first issue is Google Maps is from a satellite and my drone only goes about 500 meters in the air. So I don't even know if I can get a lake into one of the pictures. It may only have to be half a lake or a quarter of a lake. The other issue is, if you're not from Australia, you might not know that we've had a bit of rain this year, whereas some towns along the coast have flooded 3 times, and that rain has also been out here in the west. Side note, I was actually going to do this trip 2 or 3 weeks ago, but there was that much rain, a lot of the roads were flooded. And that's the other problem I've got. I may not even be able to get to the lake because there are dirt roads leading up to it, and that could be underwater or in mud or whatever. And another issue is this lake, with that much water, will it be bigger than what I looked at it? Will the whole landscape be wet? Will it be not ochre but green? So yeah, I'm not sure. I've already done about 450 k's today from the coast, then headed through the range into the pastoral lands, and you can see how much water there is still around. The land has been soaked all year with water. When it rains again, it just doesn't get absorbed, so it's on the side of the roads, it's over the farmland, and I've probably gone through 20 sections where the water's covering the road, checking out the indicators to make sure it's not deep, and just slowly making my way through them. I'm hoping there hasn't been that much rain out west where these lakes are, but there's only one way to find out. It wasn't long before I came across more sections with water over the road. It is easy to see why everything is so green. This was the most damaged road I have seen out here. A quick stop for fuel, then the first real glimpses of that outback ochre dirt. Came into the town of St George, which is the biggest town out here. Although it only has one main street, it does have a beautiful park on the river though. And the river, she's running fast. Now I'm racing that sun to the horizon. I need to make it there before dusk, as that's when the animals come out and riding can become dangerous. My destination for the night would be the small town of Cunnamulla. Made it, but I still have to set up a tent. And this ground, probably not the best, but it's right by the river. Although by the river looked pretty epic, the ground was just too hard to get tent pegs in, so I found another spot that's got grass. Mad scramble to get it done. Where's the inside? Sure, it's that way. Now the sucky bit, I have to blow it all up. I still haven't bought one of those little pumps. Damn. Time to recharge batteries. Finally got that blown up, exhausted, and just as the sun's about to go down, so bunk in for the night, see how we go tomorrow. Tell you the best bonus of motorbike pants: knee padding. So much easier when setting up tents. Or taking them down, same thing. The odd colour was a storm that destroyed the tent, broke it in half. That was a fun camping trip. Actually, I think I've got footage of that. Watch this. Lightning keeps coming in over here somewhere. I guess I'm not having a campfire tonight. It does look like it's going to be fun. I'm not sure how well I put the pegs in. Who wouldn't want to go camping when it's like that? Before I go, I thought I'd mention the river I was camping on last night, which is the Warrego, and it runs into the Murray-Darling Basin, which is the biggest river system in Australia. The Warrego is about 1,800 kilometres long, and it goes many years without even water running through it. The actual name Warrego is an Aboriginal term which means river of sand. That's probably when it's dry. Not so dry at the moment. Pretty full, I'd say. I rode through Callumala, which is quite a sleepy little town, then crossed to the west side of the Warrego River. All I could see in front of me was green fields, but the aerial view of my maps said it should be ochre and desert sand. The decision to wait a couple of weeks seemed to be a good one, as there are a lot of signs still up of water over the roads, remnants that the roads were probably still covered with water only a few days earlier. The round trip to the lake and back from Callumala was a bit over 400 kilometres, which my bike can handle doing on one tank of gas, but riding on my own and knowing anything can happen out there, missed turns or getting lost, I had 2 extra jerry cans, which gave me another 300 kilometre range. I also had 6 litres of water on the bike, just in case, even though there seems to be quite a bit out here. That is the thing when riding on your own. You have to be super cautious and prepared. I made it to the turn on the road to Currawinga National Park, which meant I had about 130 kilometres to the lakes, which was nearly all on dirt roads. When you're riding on the ochre, you know you're in the outback. Tracks from wandering cattle. Good to know they're out here, because you wouldn't want to run into one. And a little echidna trying to get across the road, probably thinking, what the hell is someone doing out here on this road? there are still signs that this place has had a fair bit of rain. I finally made it to what I guess is the entrance to the national park. Hungerford is right on the New South Wales-Queensland border, so I'm really in that bottom left-hand corner of the state of Queensland. I now had about 30 k's to the lakes, but this road was more a track. It didn't have the base like the main road. It was also a lot sandier, so I'd have to take it slower. I was coming across a lot more sections of track that were flooded, but it wasn't too difficult to find a way around. Finally made it to the lake. Well, actually, just to the end of the road. It's a short walk to the lake, but I'm not holding my hopes out for that ochre orange dirt around a lake. It's very green out here and lots of flies, so always bring one of these if you're anywhere in the outback. Let's go have a look. Well, a little different than what it looked like on Google, but still beautiful anyway. Now it's trying to take that drone shot. Definitely not going to get the whole lake in one shot. Not even close, so we'll see if we can actually get a shot out of here. All this way. Yep, the flies are getting bad. I put down the jacket so there's not too much sand being blown up in case it goes into the drone. I got the drone up and there were patches of green, but mainly white sand. I gather the rain had washed a lot of the sand into the water, and that's why the water was a milky white instead of that green-blue colour that was on Google Maps. I moved the drone along the shoreline of the lake to see if I could find any of that ochre colour. And there it was. What I'd come over 800 kilometres for. Well, hopefully there's a shot out of all that, but that wasn't really what the trip was about. It's just an excuse. We are in a pretty amazing place, and I haven't been this far west in Queensland, this far south, so just have a look around and get to ride my bike was pretty good. And also, unfortunately, can't camp in the national park around these lakes. So there is some campgrounds near a wool shed, so I think that's where we might head next. Flies, goddamn flies. Back on my bike to make my way out of the national park. I came across an emu who thought about charging me until I revved the engine a couple of times. Then he took off down the road. Emus look like they're always highly strung animals. I found a trail to the right, which I thought might take me to the other lake. This is the other lake, the salt lake. That was the fresh one we went to. This is the other one, the salt one. And it looks a lot bigger than it does on the map, I gather, with all that water in it. Not sure why there's a salt and a freshwater one. It's quite, what would you call that? Sand, tan colour? Back on the road. Well, dirt, sandy, very sandy trail. I may have I've stayed upright. I may have just got a little couple of tank slappers happening on the way, but all good. I'm going slow. I'm not sure why I keep checking if there's any traffic coming. I haven't seen anyone for over 200 kilometres. Back onto the ochre trail, then onto the main dirt road. I came across kangaroos hanging out in the middle of the road. Then more highly strung emus and some rather large cattle. There mustn't be a lot of traffic on this road, as all the animals are quite happy hanging out on it, and I haven't seen anybody out here all day long. Decided to go back and camp on the Warrego River again. Made it back to the Warrego River, and although I didn't get what I set out to do, which was an image of Blue Lake with the ochre around it, I did get an image. And really, in the end, it wasn't actually about the image. It was about getting out there, exploring, and not becoming best friends with my couch. Are you best friends with your couch? If so, you may want to get out there. Until next time.